Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And as always, it's always great to see a fantastic panel. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And you know what's the weirdest thing is, I had a punchline there, and it went past me. So you know what? As always, everyone, welcome to the channel. And I'm Solo, Omundi, Mr. B, and Glazer. How are we doing? How are we doing today, guys?
Yeah, I just want to say I'm sorry I was a bit late today coming back, and I had a bit of difficulty getting my machine running. My processor was processing. Anyway.
Yes, nice. You got to get the process, then it's processed.
Mr. Juma.
Mr. B, why were you late, sir? 101 questions.
Bro, every time Jay's on, man, I get gremlins on the computer, man. So I'm not even, this is the second time he's been on, and it's the same headache.
I've been in this studio, right? I've been in this studio since 8:30 this morning, right? I was due home 3 hours ago. I waited for you guys. I'm sat here. I'm waiting at 8:30, and you wander in at 25 to 9 like it's, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a man with a channel with 670,000 subscribers. Like I ain't got 78,000 followers on Twitter. Like I'm some chump who's just wandering off the street. Do you know what I mean? Like the name Jay Motti doesn't mean anything in this game.
Preach.
Hey,
preach.
what are you dealing with? Like I'm some 15-year-old. Oh, please, sir, can I come on your podcast? You know what I mean?
What have I missed?
Mate, that's the first and last time I ever do a diva fit. I'm not about that one.
Oh, Mr. B, seriously, just by that, Mr. B, I think you need to eat more than a few broccolis for that. Don't worry about Fred to score. I just think you just need to take the supplement now, take the forfeit, and just suck it up and eat the broccolis.
It's all right, man. No, just no.
You see the face? It's like a sad little kid, and it's like
it's all right. Look, it's all right, man. Don't worry, man. We've got 4 months of Freditis. Every week you're not going to be praying for me to eat the broccoli, and every week I'm going to be sitting there giving you the bird. It's not happening.
Well, guys, Mr. B ain't going to eat no broccoli apparently, but we will vote for him to eat broccoli by the end of the season. We will do some sort of forfeit. I don't know what it is, but we'll stitch him up like we did last season. Don't know why or how, but we will. But as always, guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Give us a subscribe. If you're not new, just give us a like. 20 in the chat at the moment. And as always, we have got our sponsorship to read out. So Amanda, would you mind, please?
Yeah, as you know, we're sponsored now by GMS, that's Global Mapping Surveys, and they assist architects, property developers, and construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services such as setting out topographical surveys, 3D laser scanning, and monitoring. And check out the link in the description, guys. That's GMS Global Mapping Surveys.
Thank you, sir. And I know what I've got to do one thing before we carry on with the show. We just want to say a big thank you to Jay, and also a congratulations to Jay as well in graduating. How was that, Jay?
Thank you. Yeah, man, it was good, man. It was good. Like, you know, my mum and my missus came along, and obviously, you know, my missus, like, I went back to uni. I was 41 when I went back. Got 3 kids, got a full-time job, and we sat down, me and my partner, and I said, listen, I want to go and do a master's. Is that all right with you? You know, because obviously it's more responsibility for her because she's got to have to do even more. She does a lot of school runs anyway, most of the school runs, but I'm going to be studying as well as working. So it's a team effort. I don't just say that as a cliche. It's true. Do you know what I mean? You can't just say, I'm going to go and study for 9 months and expect that someone else is going to pick up the slack in terms of doing all the extra work at home and stuff. But she did. She was a superstar. My mum's always supported me as well. So, yeah, it was good to see them there. Get that piece of paper, get my little hat on, and plaster it all over socials hard. Let everyone know.
You did it. But no, massive congratulations, though. Absolute congratulations for going back at sort of, you know, at the age, like you said, you're doing. I'm doing roughly the same thing at the moment, and it's not easy. Especially when you reach a certain age, it's very difficult. But
you're older than me, though, aren't you?
Pardon?
It's harder for you.
Yeah, it's harder. Yeah, of course it is.
I'm a young man compared to you. I'm a very young man compared to you, but
I know exactly.
Oh, thank you very much. I saw your hand went.
Listen.
Jay,
That's the message in it. Never.
Jay, do you have any special name digits or letters after your name now?
That's a good question. That I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah, like master. When you get a master of arts, is it? I don't know. Like I must have missed that. Yeah, I might have to find out. I think like MA. I don't know whether there's letters after my name or anything. I need to actually get the actual certificate, man. I think I put it somewhere. I don't know what I've done with it. But yeah,
apparently it's the MA.
Is it MA? Yeah, Master of Arts. I think is what it's called. Because it was 12 years ago that I graduated my undergraduate. But I was a mature student from my undergraduate. I was 30 when I graduated from my undergraduate, and I was 42 when I graduated from masters. So it's never too late, man. I was 27 when I passed college. So you know,
Mr. B,
out of school early. Well,
it's never too late.
Well, I wouldn't say never too late for everyone. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm only joking.
It's never too late. But guys, yeah, as I said, we are going to move on now to a few comments quickly just to say hello to some of the guys before we move into the main topic of the show.
Okay, so I just want to say hi to Matthew Bassett. As you know, he's a regular here every Friday. He's saying big up to everyone in the chat. We've got Bill Badger on as well. Hello, Bill Badger. How are you doing? He's got a big thumbs up for us here. I want to say hi to Pat Lawless. He said, J Motti, you effing wagon. What's guarding? He's trying to say.
Wow,
it is
okay.
Yeah, what's guarding? Mark Edmund, all the way from Australia. He's saying, I give Omundi an A+ for reader. Okay, great.
Nah, do you know what? I think that is a very underrated trait that you've got there, Monday. You always do the live reads, like no drama, no stuttering, no stumbling over the words. Perfect. Whenever I do them on my channel, it's a disaster.
I'm available for jobs.
Yeah, I might just get you to pre-record them from him. We'll just press a button and play it on our channel.
Pat Lawrence is saying, respect to all again. He says, don't forget to subscribe to the agenda. We got Full-Time Sports Network. They're doing really well at the moment. That's Column, Rebel, and all the boys there saying, is it time for that blood-sucking Glazer weasel get fermented out the Old Trafford?
That was from Rebel, innit?
No comment.
That's his language. That's definitely. I want to say hi to David Harrington. Welcome to the Man United agenda. He says, good lad, Jay. Well done. So he's one of Jay's boys, I imagine.
Thank you, sir.
And Robbie Norman here saying, I did it, talking about a master's at 45 after leaving school at 15. 30-year gap. So well done to you, man. It's never too late. And Paddy is in the house as well. Matthew saying Jay's a master. Weather reporting, as you know, he's always outside Old Trafford with his
Parker.
It's cold, isn't it, man? And I might need 2 Parkers next Monday, bro. It is cold.
I want to say hi to Rajat as well. He's saying how you doing to everyone, and also to Walter White. He says, "Yep, come, welcome. We're all welcome." Brian M is saying, "Big up to the Motti, the Hottie." Coot Star saying, first time listener from the paddock, enjoying the show. Welcome, man. How you doing? And Football Moss is saying, oh yeah, World Cup previews and thing coming up. Big up to you as well. So there we go. That's the guys from the comments.
You did miss one person out.
Ryan.
No, you didn't miss Ryan out. You missed.
Oh my gosh, Cosman. I beg your pardon. Good evening.
Long time.
One of our regulars.
Long time. So let's kickstart the show, guys. If you're new to the channel, just give us a subscribe. If you're not new, just give us a like, guys. 41 at the moment in the chat. So Jay, we're going to come to you first. And obviously we know that we haven't spoken about the sale of Manchester United with you before, but the more and more reports are coming out. At the moment, Avron is in the Middle East right now and watching the World Cup. I don't know whether or not he's actually interested in football or not. But the rumours come out now. He's gave sort of some indication regarding Manchester United for sale. On obviously the stock exchange is slightly different from the pounds at the moment. So the pounds and the dollars. So the valuation he's giving is roughly between 5 to probably say 6 billion. Now, is this something you can see that's actually can go through sort of before January, well, by the end of January or anything like that? Or is there any other avenue or someone who you believe, like they're talking about Amazon, they're talking about a few other people at the moment in the mix?
I don't know whether I think January might be a little bit ambitious for that to happen. I know that there was, I think it's the Rain Group who are looking after the deal. They are the ones that did brokered the Chelsea deal. There's been talk of maybe trying to get it done by the end of the first quarter in 2023. So So I think would that be around March or April? Around March, I think. Listen, you know, I'm not au fait with the sort of the machinations of selling the football club and how that works. I know with the Chelsea deal, there was a sense of urgency there because Abramovich was basically told he had to sell up and get off before the government took it off him. So there was like, you know, we have to get this deal done quickly. There isn't quite that urgency with Manchester United, but I still think that they won't want to prolong the deal. I expect a deal to be in place before the summer. So the new owner can obviously look at what he's going to do in the summer, if he's going to spend any money in the transfer budget and stuff like that. Remains to be seen who's going to come on. We hear about Amazon, we hear about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, we hear about one or two others. Like you just said there, Avram Glazers in the Middle East. Avram Grant, the former Chelsea manager. Avram Glazer is in the Middle East. Is he watching the football? Is that why he's there, or is he trying to, you know, meet up with certain people and not maybe get them interested? Because I don't think Avram Glazer is even interested in football. He's, you know, he doesn't seem to even understand it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in terms of who comes in. It sounds like they are being a little bit ambitious with the valuation, the Glazers, considering you've still got a ground that needs redeveloping, a training ground that needs redeveloping. You still need investment in the team. You've still got 600 million quid worth of debt, and you're asking for upwards of 5 billion. But this is Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. So if Chelsea went for whatever it was, 3.75, why couldn't United go for 5 billion? We'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I just feel like we're sort of getting there slowly but surely with the Glazers going. Now we just want to see him out the door.
Yeah, also, with that, obviously, I was going to go to Jay, but let's ask Omundi, Mr. B, this one. The rumor is as well, if they did end up selling the club, there is sort of like a back route for them as well to still be involved in Manchester United as well. How would fans react to that one?
So they're going to sell the club for 5 billion, still be sticking around. We're still going to hate them. They'll be better off just getting all the way out, mate. What's the point? What's the point of making the money and still getting the headache? No, I can't see. They'll be better off just taking the money and running. Well, take the money and run. They can take the money and do. They won't with 12 or with 5 billion, to be fair. But no, take the money and run. Just cut all ties and get the hell out.
You can give the agenda a couple of quid. We don't mind that as well. So, you know, we'll take a few quid. So yeah, exactly. That's what exactly we're talking about. And obviously give Omundi some gloves as well, because right now Omundi is looking very cold. Omundi, obviously the takeover, we've said quite a bit on the channel regarding this takeover. Do you think sort of with Avram coming out with the way he's speaking regarding this whole takeover as well, do you think it's a case of it could be sort of a, could I put like, not publicity stunt, but something like that to try and get as many bidders as possible, because they don't really care who they sell the club to?
I think they do care. I think they've assigned someone. Let's just put it straight here. I'm not qualified to really speak on this, but from what I understand from the research I've been doing, I think they've assigned somebody, the same guy who sold Chelsea, the same guy who was responsible for maybe years ago when they were going to sell to the Rupert Murdoch, who was involved with Golden Sachs company, whatever. Goldman Sachs, yeah. So the same dude who's negotiating everything. I think he's assigned there to get the best deal for the Glazers if they are going to sell. And obviously, we know about the quote saying that the Glazer was confronted and asked about it while he was in the World Cup recently, surrounded by these wealthy other guys, you know, these big heads get together. And he was asked about it, and he said it's not sell, it's a process, I think. So they're not really giving much away, as you say in there, or, you know. And I think we can make a whole show based on one little quote. That's what I said. No, they're not really transparent, are they? Speaking to the fans, we hear one quote, and then we're doing shows, it's building up, it's trending all over the place. So it's really hard to gauge, unless you're a real expert or in the know, what's really going on here and how these deals are really done. I think, like I say, Jay's more qualified, Rebel, Bath Time, all these guys here are really good at this sort of subject. And I'm not. I'm just reading out from a script, from what other people are saying. So I do think they wouldn't reveal too much. I do think they have to sort of, you know, tease people into making the bid bigger. I was looking at a stat here from Football Benchmark that says, based on the formula where they gauge how much clubs are really worth, we're second behind Real Madrid. And Real Madrid are valued at £2.6 billion, and we're valued at £2.4 billion. So you can see Chelsea just got sold for £4.5 billion. So it's excessive, these sort of prices going up, you know. And with the economy in the world right now, the dollar, the pound, there's so much going on that I'm not qualified to talk about. But it's, you know, it's going to be hard to know. I think based on everything that I've read, I think about 5 million, they said, would be a reasonable price. And I think considering we are a big club, and Chelsea was sold for 4.5, maybe 4, 5, 6 billion would be an acceptable price. And then it's about who are the takers, who are the bidders, who are the people going to be involved in this deal. So it's still up for grabs. There's still a long way to go. And as Jay was saying earlier, there's talk about positive talk about the first quarter of the year, which would be by probably March or April. There should be more news by then. So watch your space.
Yeah, sorry. And then with that as well, Jay, going back to sort of Omundi's point there with Man United being valued sort of probably the second biggest sort of club and actually not winning trophies. So commercially, for anyone who's coming into Manchester United to sort of buy Man United, once they put that money down, within 10 years or so, they're more than get that money back anyway.
Well, I don't know, like how long it would take. To be honest with you, I don't know how long. I don't think it'd be like, maybe it is within 10 years or something. I don't think it'd be very short term. You get your money back straight away, because it would take a little while. And I think you'd have to have some level of success during that period. I don't buy into the Ed Woodward theory of, you know, it doesn't matter whether we're successful on the pitch in terms of commercial revenue. Of course it does. Do you know what I mean? The reason that FSG Group sort of were able to walk away, or are walking away from Liverpool having made money, it's because regardless what you think of Liverpool, I'm obviously not a Liverpool fan, you know, they have had success. They have won trophies. They have been in 3 Champions League finals. They've had 3 title challenges. They've won the Premier League title. They've won the Champions League. They've won the FA Cup and the League Cup under Jurgen Klopp. Obviously, not done it like United done it and done the treble in one season, but we've spaced it out over 4 or 5 years or whatever. And they've had that success. And that has helped their revenue. You know, Liverpool didn't have a title for 30 years. Then they win a few trophies, and you see now the revenues skyrocketed, and I think they signed one of the biggest kit deals in history, the biggest, like, eclipsed United's kit deal. Now, a few years ago, you thought that was impossible because Liverpool had a big fan base, but they didn't have any success. So if United do have success on the pitch, that will translate to success, commercial revenue off it. So yes, someone can get their money back, but I think it will take a little while. Maybe it takes 10 years or 5 years or whatever. It won't be immediate, but Manchester United is a huge club, a huge, you know, sort of brand, if you want to use the marketing term. And if you look at that as an example at Liverpool, they went 30 years without winning a title. And then they had a few years of success under Jurgen Klopp, and they're signing the biggest deals in history. And that's someone look at Manchester United and think, you know what? This is a club that's got 76,000 fans through the gate every week. You've got tens of millions of fans worldwide. You've got brand recognition, the likes of which, you know, is sort of only a few clubs, a few sporting institutions, I think, are as well known across the world as Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? You mentioned Real Madrid. Maybe you can make, you know, maybe 1 or 2 other brands, maybe the New York Yankees or someone like that. But Manchester United are right up there in terms of everyone knows who Manchester United are and what we are and what we're about. And I think that if you've got the right owner and he understands that, you can have success off the pitch. If you get success on the pitch, then hopefully there'll be someone there who's willing to sort of spend money in the right way. Because I think big problem for me with the Glazers isn't that we haven't spent money. Because yes, they've taken loads of money out of the club. They've been parasitic and they've been horrible for United, and they've left us really debt, taken money for dividends. But we have spent money. We've just misspent it. You look at City and Liverpool, they've spent money, but they've had football people above the manager. We've had bankers above the manager, and that's left us in a situation where we've wasted a lot of money, not just on the Glazers, but also on some of our transfers as well.
Oh, right. I was going to go to on Monday, but on Monday, as you're there, you might as well do this one as well for us.
Yeah,
please.
Big shout out to Vincent O'Donnell. He's dropped £5 into our kitty. Thank you very much. He's saying getting nervous about the Glazers, won't end up selling all their shares, especially after today's comments. They need to get out of our club permanently.
Did you just call him Vincent O'Donnell?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That Daniel O'Donnell's brother.
There goes my contract. Matt, sorry.
Oh, brilliant. I was going to say, obviously, we're going to read out some quotes quickly. I'm on there here. Let's get that down, please, if that's okay.
Yeah, so the headline here is Avram Glazer breaks silence on potential Man United sell. The Glazer family announced in November that the club is up for sale, but Avram Glazer has since stressed that there is no time frame for when a deal might be completed. Manchester United still hope something could happen by the spring. So the new owners are in place before the start of the 23-24 season. The Athletic managed to get up close and personal with Avram outside the Al Bay Stadium in Qatar on Wednesday night when Adam Leventhal asked Manchester United co-owner for an update on the sale of the club. This is what was said. It's not necessarily a sell, it's a process. And we're going forward with the process, so we'll see what happens. That's what he said there, Avram said. Personally, I think they're looking for to cash in with Full Sail right now. They are toxic to the brand, and I don't think many of the investors will work with them unless they are people of the same ilk. Utterly obsessed with greed. Oh, dear. The Athletic pushed Avram further with a question on how many parties have shown an interest in buying Manchester United. He added, I'm here to really watch the World Cup, but I appreciate your interest. This to the reporters. He said, there's an update, it's a process, and the process is proceeding.
Right. Jay, let's ask you this thing about this process, and proceed. It just reminds me of Mikel Arteta. Every time he did an interview, wasn't it? But when he first took over Arsenal manager, all he used to say was, it's a process, it's a process, it's a process. And at the moment with it, it's like they're not giving too much away, the Glazers. They're not giving a lot away. And a lot of the interview, he did one on Sky a few weeks ago, which was the first time ever he was talking to someone live, and it's the same statement. It's a process. It's a process.
It's not. I understand what you're saying, but it's not an interview, is it? It's not. He's been doorstepped. It's it's someone stopping him and him just saying a couple of lines, not really answering any questions. To be honest with you, not answering any follow-up questions, and that's all we've seen from the Glazers, just evading Manchester United fans, evading any scrutiny. We heard when Malcolm Glazer bought the club in 2005, we were going to hear from the Glazers, we're going to have this transparency and this communication. It never happened. And it took Manchester United fans getting a game against Liverpool postponed for them even to commit to speaking to the fans. And what have we had since then? We've had, two, I think, fan forum calls with Joel, and then the two sort of doorstepping interviews with Avram. It's just nonsense. I mean, you said it yourself there. It's a process, and the process is proceeding. That's just drivel. It just means nothing. And I couldn't care less what he said, to be honest with you. I think it annoys me the way he sort of has this disdain, like he shouldn't even have to answer these questions. We was actually going to go and try and get over to Florida because someone sent me an address where they lived. And
Jay, you taking Mr. B with you, please?
Yeah, and we were going to go over there because if you went on Google Street View, you could see him outside his house, and someone said this is their house, and we're going to go on doorstep, and nothing sinister. Going to go there, and when it was all popping off for the Super League, but because of COVID was still a thing, and then it didn't happen. And then he got stopped by, I think Sky sent someone over there, and people have a bigger budget than us, and he got stopped, but he didn't really answer anything. Do you know what I mean? They're not interested. They've not answered anything for 17 years, and they're not going to start now. And it's that little sentence that he said there. It's pretty meaningless, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Mr. B.
I'm just deleting something, bruv. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, there was.
Pay attention to Jay. What is wrong with you?
No,
going through your internet search history again.
No, see, I'm trying.
Get rid of that before she comes in.
Yeah. She watches it with me. Stay there. That's the kind of
2-0
relationship that we're in. Yeah. I hide nothing. It makes no sense, mate. It makes no sense. It's a lot easier.
Look behind the Ten Hag picture. Look behind the Ten Hag picture, everyone.
Sorry, bro.
I bet Mr. B's forgot the question now.
Yeah, I've forgotten the question. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why. If you remind me at the end of the show, I'll tell you. But yeah, I have. Yeah.
What was the question, Solo? I've forgotten myself. Sorry.
Keep it short. We'll keep it short. I want the short version, please.
Oh, come on now. Okay, the short version was Jay was saying regarding with Avram Grant. It wasn't
Avram Grant. You're doing it now.
I'm doing it now. I'm doing the Avram Grant thing now. Jesus. Avram Glazer. Basically, this interview is almost like someone just stopping him. So there's no process behind what he's saying.
It is. As they said, they have bum rushed him, and he's made a comment. He's never going to give an interview. I said he's been here all this time. If he wanted to do it, he would have done it at the beginning. Even halfway through the tenure, he could have done. We now know the club's being sold. We don't even want to hear what he's saying, to be fair. It's nothing news now. let's be honest, we just want to hear that it's being sold, and we don't need to hear that it's being sold by him. Anybody else could have said what he said. So, yeah, he's an entity at the club, but he, in the scale of things, his word and anything he says is probably this big in the scale of things, to be fair.
Amanda, anything to add on to that one before we go to the comments?
Yeah, like I say, it's a stupid statement. You asked a direct question and you've given a sort of politician's kind of answer, and it just left us all confused. I mean, what does that mean? It's not a sell, it's a process. What's going on here? You know, one thing I just want to add as well, just from doing a little research, I didn't realize there's 6 siblings in total, and there seems to be some conflict between them. It seems Avran and his brother and the other 4, they're all sort of bumping heads kind of thing about Manchester United. So that's something I would like to look into, see what's going on there and what's the reason for it. Why is there so much infighting within the camp? I don't know, but it's like boy bands, isn't it? Boy bands get together, they always break up and fight, and it's the same thing here with this family of Glazers. I don't know what's going on. They've got a lot of money. They've got, you know, they're fighting amongst themselves, and money breeds that. Money sort of breeds content and infighting and that kind of thing. Success and fame. That's what it does. So whatever's going on in house, I don't know, but I'm just more concerned about Manchester United Football Club, more so than this guy appears by his stupid statement.
Yeah. The issue you got with it, the less said is best, I think, for football, for our fans, Manchester United fans. And it's about just getting the sale of the club, because it seems like Manchester United, they cannot keep their mouth closed. There always has to be something leak. There has to be consistently something leak, rather than just dealing with the situation. I know because we're a big club and everyone wants us, we get into the media and things like that. But with new owners coming in, Jay, do you think that's something that will stop at Manchester United, or is this a trend that you still believe will keep going?
What's that? The leaking stuff?
Yes.
I think we're leaking stuff. That happens at every club. I think the problem with Manchester United was stuff coming out of the dressing room. You had these comments, didn't you? Like when we had Mourinho in charge and Ralph Rangnick, it went turbo under Ralph Rangnick. It was like the players were just going as soon as, it felt like the players were texting journalists during the team talks. The leaks were that quick. And it was like, obviously no one really respected Ralph Rangnick. And it was sad to see the sort of the way the club was going. I think Ten Hag has cracked down on that. I don't feel like there is that level of sort of information coming out of the dressing room. It seems a little bit more united. In terms of stuff like at a higher level and from the top end of the club, you're always going to get that. And obviously something like the sale, the club issued a statement pretty quick with that one. We had they did it. I think the Ronaldo news obviously forced them to do it a bit quicker than they probably would have wanted to, because I don't think that was a coincidence. They did it 2 hours after that. I think they said, all right, we'll do the Ronaldo news and then we'll do this straight away after, rather than waiting a couple of days or whatever. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with the new owners, what the culture of the club's going to look like. But one thing I will say that I don't want to see with new owners is a new manager. I don't want to see new owners come in and go, right, you know what, we're in charge now. We're going to bring in, I don't know, Pochettino or Tuchel or whoever. Stick with Erik Ten Hag, man. I firmly believe he's a good manager. I firmly believe in what he's doing. I think you can see the changes affected already. And that's my only slight worry is sometimes you paid £5 billion for an asset. You will do what you want. And trust me, you're not going to come in and go, well, I don't really want this manager, but I'm going to stick with him. You come in and you spend £5 billion on something, you could do whatever you wanted to. Remember when Vincent Tan took over at Cardiff and he started changing the colour of the shirts and all that nonsense? Some of these owners, like Todd Burley, came in at Chelsea and he was having none of Tuchel. He was telling Tuchel who we should buy, and Tuchel's like, I'm not buying him. And then within a month, he's gone. So that's one thing I don't want to see from new owners. I think that he has to back the new owner, or whoever it is, has to back Erik Ten Hag, because I think we've got a very, very good manager there. I think we've got one of the best managers in the world. I really do.
And there's a leak on the Man United agenda, because I was going to ask you that question for the next segment, Jay.
What's that?
Mr. B?
There's a leak. You know me already, bruv. I just want everybody to shut their mouth, to be fair. I don't want to know nothing. I want everything. I want the club to act like they were doing when we signed Andy Cole from Newcastle. Nobody knows anything about anything. It's all tittle and then bang, bang. Nobody. That's how I want us to be. I want us to be moving in silence. We won't. Social media make sure of that, to be fair. Anything with the Man United or the Glazer hashtag's gonna get retweets and 1,000 views and 1,000 reads. So there's going to be a lot of speculation. My biggest fear is that the person who comes in doesn't have Manchester United at heart, and I understand it's business and they're all in it to make the money. The Glazers have made their money, they're going to get out. Whoever else comes in, unless it's a single buyer, is still going to be wanting to make money. But the thing with Man United will make money. We can self-generate. We were doing it before the Glazers come in. All right, our marketing strategy is different, but you know, to a certain extent, if the money is put back into the club, I'm sure, as I said, Ten Hag said today that he feels that the club can compete with all rich states, these clubs that are owned by all rich states. So if that's the case, I believe that he has to know something. He's not just going to come out with a statement that even a simple me can pick up and think something's going on. So for him to have put it out there, I believe that he knows maybe a little bit more than he's letting on.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, 59 in the chat at the moment. If you're new to the channel, please give us a subscribe and make sure you're giving us a like as well. Amanda, would you mind going through some of these comments, please, quickly? And we can utilize some of the comments.
I've been sort of surfing through the comments as well. I want to say respect everyone who tunes into Man United Gen, because you seem to know a lot about the club, a lot about the finance, a lot about football. We've got a great community here, guys, and I really do appreciate you, all of you. You know, because I'm reading it, I get distracted sometimes. Oh, really? Oh, this is going on. And I'm going to start. I'm not going to be able to cover everybody here, but just want to apologise once again for Vincent McDonald, not O'Donnell. There's a girl I knew in school called Jenny O'Donnell. She was lovely. That's why I got distracted. Mark Edmonds here saying, guys, the Glazers will sell. No one is giving the Glazers $1 billion of their money to let the Glazers run the club. Rebel's saying it here. Rebel's got, if you look through the comments, Rebel's been, he knows his stuff here. He said, given the way the finances are and the kickback on the Super League that was announced today, not surprised that they are bailing. Paul Tierney, how you doing? He says, I'm liking the look of United's transfer targets for January and beyond. One out of contract and in the summer, top talent. Benfica Italian international Shed Noir. I know him, 6'3", he's a midfielder, very talented. So plays like Paul Pogba as well. He's been linked with us recently. Rebel saying, rumor is there's a preferred bidder to be preferred to a Glazer, favorably backdoor, and that's the deal they are trying to leverage for. I want to say hi to, I'm not going to miss that one. Sorry. Mark Edmonds saying Glazers need to sell. They are never paying $1 billion on the debt and stadium. They would be broke. They would have to sell or they wouldn't. Question here, Jay, do you think the Glazer was actually to watch the game, or was he wheeling and dealing?
I think one of you guys said it earlier, yeah, you know, and someone said it in the comments. I don't think he's got an interest in football or soccer, as he probably calls it. I think he was just there to try and, you know, do a bit of networking and maybe see if he can get another bidder or someone interested from that neck of the woods in the club. Because I don't think Avram Glazer's got any interest in watching France versus Morocco, to be honest with you.
And that's soccer, not Sacco, who plays for Arsenal. Dave Harrington saying, like Mark, they have to go. It's not what they want to do. The sell, although not forced, basically is they haven't got the money to sustain the debt anymore. They bled us dry. Ross McPherson, how you doing? He said, hi, guys. As long as the new owners aid with clearing the debt and hire football people in capital letters, as Jay was saying, to make footballing decisions in capital letters again, to emphasize the point, then that's the start. Then move on to improving Carrington and Old Trafford. I really like that comment. He's on the money there. Kieran Grant, how you doing? He said the process is proceeding. We have nothing on the table, in my opinion. And as we said here, Avram Grant, we said a couple of times today, he would run the club better than Avram Glazer, says David Harrington. Stumpy Candletop saying good show tonight. Thank you so much. We'll say hi to Eddie Football Waffle. Make sure you check out his channel. Brilliant. He said 70 in the chat. We want only 26 likes. It wants more than that. So yeah, come on, you put it out there. Pump the like button, guys, if you can. Paul Tierney again saying cheers for the show. Great to see guy like Mark Edmond in the comments. Mark Edmonds from Australia. He joins us on a Friday. He said, I believe he was a guest on the show before, and he's very good. And there you go, Mark. You are very good. We appreciate having you on the show. And big up for all the support you're giving us. And yeah, I'll just leave it there. We've got £10 here from Matthew Bassett. Sorry. Matthew Bassett must be loaded because he keeps throwing.
Mr. B, what have you been doing on a Friday night? Because boy,
told you, man, it's a members only party on a Friday, man.
But like I said, there's loads of comments. We appreciate all of them. We can't go through all of them as usual today, but yeah, we are reading them and acknowledge them. Big up, guys.
Yes. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please make sure you're giving us a like and also subscribe. What is this from?
This Martin again at Solo. He's talking to you. How many subs by Christmas do you need for Mr. B to eat broccoli? So that's the new agenda.
Five subs. 5 subs and he eat a broccoli.
Well,
Listen, don't even be talking shit. If I got to eat broccoli, I want 200 extra subs by the end of the week, and then we'll talk.
By the end of the week.
Yeah, and then it's on Fred. Yeah, that's straight. That's straight from Fred. Otherwise, it's still on Fred scoring. Apologies, Solo.
Oh, come on, man. Leave Fred out of this. Another one there for you.
Hi, Lucky Singh. How you doing, man?
Big
He
up,
says,
welcome.
investors out, people. Big up. Welcome to the channel.
Welcome. Right, so we're going to read our sponsorship before we are going to go into Ten Hag in a minute, if I can get rid of this comment here.
So once again, this is our sponsors, GMS, Global Mapping Surveys. They assist architects, property developers, and construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services such as setting out topographical surveys, 3D laser scanning and monitoring. And check out the link in the description, guys.
Brilliant. Omundi hasn't finished there because we've got this one, which is our next topic.
Oh my gosh. The title.
Jay, you see, this is what we do when he's here, you see. This is a problem. He gets works, he earns his keep.
I can hardly see, it's so small. So Eric Ag reflects on the benefit of a change for Man United ownership. What would it mean for Manchester United, the change of ownership? So this is from Eric Ten Hag. He's confident that change of ownership can benefit Man United project, saying he will have more money to invest in it. United fans finally got their wish in regard to a current owner, with the Glazer family now willing to sell and considering full takeovers as well as partial investment. It means the club looks set to enter January transfer window in a state of uncertainty with no new owners lined up as yet. Despite that, though, Ten Hag is feeling positive about the situation, saying that he's been told by the chief executive, Richard Arnold, that it will result in more funds being available to him. He said they, meaning the Glazers, are open and transparent, and that's what he told The Athletic. We spoke about the culture we want. We spoke about the objectives, goals, and the culture, and we confirmed it won't change. That it will be better, even better, because more money will be available for this project. My information is that it will only be good things because there will be more investment possible, which is good. I look at the competition around the Premier League. They all have the opportunity to invest. It's a tough competition between 7 or 8 clubs. United already looked set to spend in January. The club is the front runner for Netherlands starlet Cody Gakpo, who PSV Eindhoven are expected to move out this winter. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, but
That's
there you
right.
go.
Thank you, Omundi. So, quick one, Jay. Couple of things on that one, and I think you touched on one of them earlier about obviously new ownership coming in and whether or not Ten Hag will be the manager. I'd love him to be the manager, but like we said in the show so far, it's their money. The owners will come and do whatever they believe is best for themselves rather than what Ten Hag is doing right now for Manchester United. And then the second part of it would be Gakpo. At the moment, the stories are coming around that it's a strong possibility that we probably get him in January as well.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think that there's a very strong chance to keep the manager. I don't expect the manager to change. It's just one concern I've got. I'd be very surprised. I think anyone, can see that you want the best man for the job, and he is the best man for the job. So, I'm not saying I expect the manager to change. I just hope that doesn't happen. In terms of Cody Gakpo, he's the name out of all the players we've been linked with. We've been linked with quite a few players, everyone from João Felix to even Karim Benzema. I saw a link with there the other day, maybe in the summer. But I think Cody Gakpo, there seems to be something there. It seems like it's a deal that can be done as well. I think he's out of contracts in 18 months as well. So his valuation is not ridiculous. And I think that one of the sort of issues here is it's easy to think that, well, the Glazers now won't sanction any more spending because we've spent money in the summer. Why would we spend more money in January for a club we're about to sell? But when I was talking to Kieran Maguire from the Price of Football podcast, who's a football financial expert, he said one of the reasons that they may, he doesn't know, but one of the reasons they may sanction another deal is if you've got a strong squad and if you've got a team or a club that is in the Champions League places, you could get more money. So you could spend 40 million on Cody Gakpo, and because you're in the Champions League places, because you've got a squad that the new owners can look at and go, okay, we haven't got to spend loads of money in every position, then that means you can maybe get another 100, 200 million. So it's cost effective for you. Now, I'm not saying that will happen, but it would make sense because you're losing Ronaldo. It's obvious to me that, or to a new buyer, I'm going to have to pay for a striker. They need a new striker at Manchester United. Whereas if you've got a striker or you've got an attacker, no, he's not an out-and-out striker, and you've got into those Champions League places as well, you can go, okay, the squad's pretty strong. We're in the Champions League places, which could open up another revenue stream for us next season. Then, that might make sense for them. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's what gives me hope that we can buy someone like Cody Gakpo. Because of the players we've been linked with, whether it's the kid who had a good World Cup, scored a hat-trick for Portugal. Sorry, is it Ramos, Gonzalo Ramos, thank you. Whether it's him, whether it's João Felix, whether it's Ivan Toney, whether it's Karim Benzema, all the ones we've been linked with, I think the most likely to happen is Cody Gakpo. And that's probably the best one for us as well out of the ones we've been linked with. I think that's the one that makes a lot of sense. I know, again, like I said, he's not that out-and-out number 9. He likes to come in from the left, but he can play down there. And we've got other options as well, so I think that could work.
Yeah. On Monday, with that as well, with obviously Ten Hag, the worry about the managers the owners coming in, the manager having that effect on whether or not the manager will stay or go. Ten Hag is proven with sort of the way he deals with the players, the way he deals with the press as well. It reminds me slightly of Sir Alex Ferguson when he first came to Manchester United, where it's basically he went in and he stamped his authority down straight away. Do you think it's now a case whoever comes in have to back him and give him the opportunity, at least 2 seasons minimum, to show that he can actually do the job?
Yeah, first of all, I back Mohamed from Ghana. Big up.
Big up, Mohamed.
Yeah, I do think, look, we've seen Jay mentioned it earlier about the manager. Whatever happens behind the scenes, we want the manager to stay. I could speak here for another 5 minutes about all the positive things that I've seen the manager do this season, and just most recently with Sancho as well, trying to get the best out of him, doing with care and love and supporting him to make him a better player and to come back even stronger. That's something I just think, wow, this guy is just a businessman. Love him like that. With regards to the squad, we're looking at someone like Zidane Iqbal as well. We know with at Ajax, he was working with players, bringing players through, developing players. That's something we haven't seen in the club for a long time too. So that's another bonus point, because I can see him long term getting some real gems out of the youth team and bringing them through to the first team. I think he would take a lot of pride in that. But on top of that, he's got money to spend, which is something he didn't really have. There's the amount of money that he had at Ajax before. He didn't have that sort of amount of money before. So now he should have that balance here where he can say to himself, I don't think he'd be greedy with it. He's going to buy players that is for his project, players that will fit his ideals of how he wants his football to be played, rather than just buying players that are available and marquee names, a bit like Felix as well, João Felix. And he wants players with character and who can produce the goods and be professional as well. So I think he has to be really careful. Don't you go out there, splash the cash just because you've got the money and burn the hole in your pocket. He needs to buy players, and I think he will. I don't need to advise him about this, but he needs to buy players that suit his philosophy going forward. And I think, like you say, everyone should just get behind the manager, trust in him, even if it's someone called Toby from Maidenhead or something. If he fits the bill, then bring him in. That's all I care about,
Yeah. Mr. B there, with like what Omundi is saying, with the young youth players as well. There was a quote regarding what Ten Hag said. Obviously, if the new investors come in, there's money to spend, but money not necessarily will get you the exact player that you want. So you got to look at like the youth as well on top of that.
Fuck, sorry. That's what we do. That's what we do. We hold the record for having a graduate in our first team. We work on youth, and let's be honest, nothing makes a well. There's a few things that make fans happy, but I really enjoy the fact that, or when you have a homegrown player, obviously, my love affair with Marcus Rashford is not going to die anytime soon. I like homegrown players. I like the fact that they've come through the youth, they've come through the youth racks, and now they're becoming nearly world class or world class in Marcus's. Don't come at me in Marcus's position, but it's got to be a mixture. I said already, I don't want the new owners to come in and we just go out and buy. I want us to make stars. I keep saying that. I said it again. I want them to become stars at Old Trafford. Don't come and become a star, because then you come with big heads, a big reputation. No, be humble, grow yourself at the club, and let it flourish that way.
Yeah, and also with it as well, Fred, homegrown as well, has been at Old Trafford, Man United for at least a couple of years, so homegrown, you know.
Keep sneaking him in. Keep sneaking him in.
And throw Fred in that mix as well. So
Fred, hey, Toby from Maidenhead's got a better chance of sticking around with Fred.
Jay, come on, that's like a minus for you there. I thought you liked Fred.
Listen, I like Fred. I do. I think he's, he's full of beans. I met him once. He's a good lad, and I think he brings an energy to the squad. I just think like I've heard rumblings, and I don't want to upset you, that he might be leaving in the summer.
Yes. Oh no!
Not I've heard rumblings. I'm not ITK. There's been reports, haven't there, that his contract's up and that he's not one of the ones who's going to get sort of extended or whatever. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think that Fred is good at certain things. I think he's got a ceiling, but I don't think he's a player that you hate, because at least no matter what, he gives you that energy, he gives you that effort, he gets stuck in. And at a time when a lot of his teammates went missing, he stood up, man. He did. Under the Ralph Rangnick, it was a shambles, but I couldn't fault Fred during that period. I thought he was one of the few shining lights.
Yeah. I'm upset now because Ronaldo's gone, Fred's going. What's going to happen now? Who am I meant to back?
The right one. The right one.
The right one. No, I might go down the route. I might sit there and start sort of embracing Harry Maguire if he doesn't go to Aston Villa.
Welcome to my club.
The Defenders Club. Yeah. Guys, there's 55 in the chat. We're just going to briefly run through some of the comments now. So, Amanda, would you mind, please?
Okay. So Matthew Bassett's here, just seeing links to Michael Edwards again. I'll take him at Old Trafford, he says. Mark Edmonds saying here, Fred is a good guy to have in a dressing room, I bet. Just not a starter, so more of a squad player. Rebel saying here, you met Fred and didn't get solo and autograph, Jay.
I'll tell you what happened, right? We was in the mix zone. I think it was after one of the Perth games, and the guy brought Fred out, and Andrew, who was in charge of the press at the time, he's like, or for that day, he's like, bringing Fred out, and I'm like, Fred starts doing it. He comes over to Andy Mitten from United, we stand, who's next to me, and they start chatting. And I said to Andrew, like, can I get him after he's finished with Andy? And Andrew says, oh, he doesn't speak English. He only speaks Portuguese. And Andy, I know Andy since I was a kid. He's from Ermsted, but he speaks Portuguese, Andy. He's got a Brazilian wife and he speaks Portuguese. So he did the interview in Portuguese. Remember, Andy did the interview with Casemiro as well for United. He did that because he speaks Portuguese. So Fred, obviously, you know what I mean? There's no point in me trying to interview him. He says you can say hello to him. He's a good guy. He'll say hello. So when he finished with Andy, I just like held my hand up. I said, yo, you had a good game, great game. He just gave me a big smile and shook my hand and that. And then he got off. So yeah, I think if I'd have asked him for an autograph or anything, he wouldn't know what I was on about, bro. Yeah, because he didn't speak English. Unless I'd have done that. He might have thought I was asking for the bill, though. Like, well, that universal sign language for the bill. But yeah, no, he's like I say, I like Fred. He's a good guy. But he comes a time when you go past just, to a certain level. And I think the likes of Eriksen and Casemiro have shown us that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at the levels they've got. I look at them players, Casemiro and Eriksen, and I can't believe how good they are. I'm looking at them, I'm going, they're so much better than what I've expected. You watch him on the ball, you watch Eriksen's passing, you watch Casemiro, he reads the game. It's phenomenal. It's a joy to watch. Yeah. And I think that we have to sort of aspire to those sort of levels if we're going to get back to where Manchester United need to be. Now, that's not saying every player has to be at them levels, because they're not going to be. You can have squad players. But when you mentioned there, Mr. B, about people like Hannibal Mejbri and Zidane Iqbal in particular, those youngsters coming through, if you keep them in and around the squad, they can learn from the likes of Casemiro. You can get these players developed, then they can be your squad players. They can be your next generation of players that when you've got one or two knocks, you bring them in, develop them, and get them to those levels that you need for Manchester United.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think Man United at the moment, the future is bright, but It's about the process, and it's about how Ten Hag bring the young players through. And I think at the moment he's doing a fantastic job with them. And it's not going to be long before a few of these guys will come through. The rumor is as well, I've saw today, is about Palestri. Possibility could sooner rather than later make his debut for Manchester United as well. First team appearance for Manchester United as well. So again, he's another player. Watched him in the World Cup as well for Uruguay. Seems like a half decent player for the minutes he's played as well. So Amanda, you're the youth of the channel, the youth players.
Yeah, I've been really impressed. I've always followed the youth team, not just Man United, the whole of UK football. You know, I really like watching youths come through and see how they develop. But there is a huge gap. Once you reach the end of the youth stage, you might be killing it. To jump into senior football, as we saw with the friendlies recently, it's a huge step up. And I think there has to be a closer gap. I think there was a suggestion recently about doing the Brentford method, which having a B team where they play more competitive football. It's just to bridge the gap a little bit for these players. Because sometimes our loan, as we proved, Mr. B says it's a lot about our loan strategy, sending, you know, decision making about where we send people on loans. Sometimes they're not very successful. We're seeing some changes recently with Ghana as well. He had a good success, and that was a good decision to take him somewhere where they played a good brand of football. And now we're seeing it at Sunderland as well with Ahmad. So I think these black guys have got to be patient. You come to Man United, and the thing is, you throw someone in the first team and you expect to stay there. A bit like Rashford. He came in the first team and he had to maintain that level. Then you compare it to someone like Shola or Shola.
Let's call him Shola.
He came into the first team a couple of years ago, and he hasn't been seen since, really. So that might deflate his confidence and everything else. So if you're going to make that step up to the first team, you've got to be ready, and you've got to seize the day and seize that opportunity. A bit like Garnacho has. He's come in at the right time, put into the side, and he's maintained it. And hopefully he'll be there for the long run. But I think you've got to manage these players, the transition from youth football to senior football, the best way you can without killing people's confidence, because you might have some real good gems there, but that period there is very crucial. I think with young players, it's either make or break. And as we see with mentality, and there's so many distractions as well. The money you throw at them, there's so many factors there. As we've seen with our youngsters recently, we had a great youngster in Greenwood and Ravel Morrison and all these other guys. Paul Pogba, I was mentioned the other day. You have to manage that, and I think we've got the right guy again. I'm endorsing our manager, but I think we've got the right guy again to sort of manage that strategy. And he's doing a great job, by the way, with Zidane Iqbal, someone I think could come through, and also with Kobe in the youth as well. He's a bit younger, but I think he's another great player where I can see potential in the future where he can come in to the side, to the senior side, and be a mainstay. So it's not many small potential players make it, but I think the process will be improved under this new management.
A quick one, Jay, as well. Van der Beek, what do you make of Van der Beek so far? 2 friendlies he played, but he hasn't really done too much, has he? And obviously Wan-Bissaka as well. The games I've watched so far, what they played in this pre-season, is it sort of rustiness, or is it just they?
I think we have to, like,
Mr. B, we heard that one.
You know, I think we have to be honest with Van der Beek and just sort of, you know, sooner or later you got to say that it isn't working out. And I'm sure, you know, he looked like a decent player at Ajax and what I saw. We've seen glimpses of it at United, but he's been here a little while now. He went on loan to Everton. He was injured for half the time he was there. He comes back. He's got the former manager that saw him have all that success at Ajax. That should be ideal for him. And we still aren't seeing a lot for him. And I know he's had a few injuries and whatnot, but how long are we going to keep saying, you know, the jury's out on Donny van der Beek? Oh, we just need to see more of Donny van der Beek. Christian Eriksen's come into this squad, having died a year ago, and he's come into this squad and smashed it up. Do you know what I mean? The guy was dead a year ago, and now he's in the squad, arguably one of our most important players. Do you know what I mean? I'm not, you know, dismissing what happened to the kid. I'm saying he didn't. You know what I mean? He hasn't gone like, oh, you know what? He's come in and forced the issue. I don't think anyone thought Christian Eriksen was going to play as many minutes for Manchester United this season as he has. But he just immediately, I'm in this team. Drop me. Do you know what I mean? Donny van der Beek. He's in, does a little bit, he's all right, he gets a chance, he doesn't really do much, drops a 6 out of 10. You know, he does another little one. Oh, he's not had much of a chance. Make the chance, bro. Make the chance. Do you know what I mean? That's how you get into Manchester United's team. Scott McTominay was keeping Casemiro out of the squad, out of the team, sorry, because he was performing at a level where every time I was going, you know what, you kept your place. It wasn't until his standards dropped off a little bit. Then Casemiro got in. So you get a chance with this manager. You do, but he hasn't taken it. And this manager knows him. He knew him at Ajax. So I just think we need to get off this Donny van de Beek bus. Come on.
Yeah, I think
2.5 years, man. If it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. It would have. Do you know what I mean? You've seen people come into the squad after him who've now got straight in there. Do you know what I mean? So you can't keep making excuses and saying he's not had a chance, he's not done this, he's not done that. Because every time I see him, he does okay. And, okay is what got us in this mess in the first place.
Well said.
Well said, Jed. It's we need players that's going to come in, and as you said, you've seen like young players like the Garnacho come in and actually cement his place now. So for someone like Jadon Sancho to try and come back into that team, he's going to find it very difficult at the moment to come back into that team. So all the opportunity are there for these guys, but it just seems like Van der Beek's not taking it. Wan-Bissaka seems like he's just not taking it as well.
I think Wan-Bissaka's different one. I think Wan-Bissaka had it for a while. For 2 seasons, he was the regular right back. But for whatever reason, it's dropped off. And he's at the point now where, do you remember when Diogo Dalot got suspended after the Villa game, didn't he? He got his 5th yellow card or whatever it was. And I think Sanag moved Malacia over to right back for the next game rather than give Wan-Bissaka a game. What's that tell you? I think he's done at United. Yeah. And I like the kid. He seems like a nice lad and that. But for whatever reason, Erik ten Hag just doesn't fancy him whatsoever. I think he's done. I think he could even go in January, I think.
Yeah, I think there'll be more outgoing in January than actually incomings as well. I think there's going to be a few surprises will be going out in January. Hint, hint, Harry Maguire. Sorry, I'm on there. Aston Villa.
That lasted long, didn't it? You was on the Harry Maguire bandwagon of 2 minutes ago.
You know,
you was going to stick up for him, and then 2 minutes later, you're saying he's going.
Yeah, I just can't help myself. I got to pick someone from who I need to support and back, but I'll back the team to begin with. So, but listen, Jay, it's always a pleasure having you on. You're back. I'm not going to say, I'll leave you and Mr. B to talk about your issues you both got. So me and Omundi will keep away from it.
Did you mean what the hell is that? Hey, I'm going to leave you and Mr. B talk about the severe problems that you've both got. What?
We'll leave it off screen.
Talking to my doctor again.
But no, absolutely brilliant as always. Jay, where can everyone find you?
Listen, you know where to find me on Stretford Paddock. Don't worry about that, though. If you have come to Stretford Paddock, make sure you are hitting that subscribe to the United Agenda. These guys have been going about their business now for a couple of years. I love coming on here. It's always a good laugh. They know what they're talking about. You get varied opinions. You know, you go on a lot of YouTube channels and you see like this. Everyone has the same opinion on everything. Or some people haven't done their own work, or some people don't know what they're talking about, or some people don't really care. And, you get a good mix on here, and it's people that care about the club, that want the best for the club, have good, strong opinions and know what they're talking about as well. Have a little bit of experience around it as well. On the case of Mr. B, a lot of experience. Years, decades of experience. Yeah, going back to like pre-Busby. You know what I mean? Like Ernest Magnol days. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button because I love this channel. They're good guys.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Jay. Absolutely brilliant. Mr. B, the Busby Babes back in the days, eh? Wow. Now we're going back, way back in time. Way back. Way back. So Jay's absolutely on fire tonight. That's all I can tell you, Mr. B.
It comes with love, man. It comes with love.
There's no coming back from that one. But guys, listen, apologies, 50 in the chat. If you don't yet have hit that subscribe button, please do so. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so as well. We will be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I believe. And then we've got the Friday night takeaway also. So guys, make sure you go on, you check out Jay on the paddock and make sure you give us a like, share and subscribe as well. And it's a community. So let's support each other on here. So, but from us tonight, I'd like to say, I hate when I do this. I'm just going to say Omundi, Mr. B and Jay, because I hate when I say I'm solo. I'm ready to get the... I'm getting the lightsaber out. Come on.
I like what?
The lightsaber. Right, guys, from us.
The madness.
I was just about to do the Jay. I was just about to put you in the hot seat, but I hit the wrong button. Right, guys, from us tonight. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.